Unfortunately, during the World War II, they were bombed, the other 4, because they thought they were the Houses of Parliament. They got the wrong side of the river. The 3 remaining are, they were named after the days of the week, and the 3 remaining are the weekend wards, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. But if we look back to the Houses of Parliament there, it's a magnificent building. We've got 2 main towers. You've got the one at the back, the large one with the flag flying. That's Victoria Tower. That's where parliamentary records are held. But of course the famous one is the one at the front, the one with the clock on it, which is known as the Clock Tower. That is all. That is simply the Clock Tower. It has no other name, although many people call it Big Ben. That isn't Big Ben. I'm sorry to say, Big Ben is actually the bell that sits inside, the 13.5 ton bell. So there we have it. That is the largest 4-sided clock in the world. However, it is not the largest clock face we're going to see today. We will see one bigger. 10 points for anyone that spots it before me. Big Ben was named after one of the head foremen, who was a large fellow. His name was Benjamin, and that's what gave it the nickname Big Ben. Now we're coming back through Westminster Bridge. We're going to see a very modern structure on our right, finished in 2000, March 2000, which is the London Eye.
Wow!
There we have it, the EDF Energy London Eye, 135 metres high. It's the largest cantilevered observation wheel. That means it's supported from just the one side. It's the 3rd largest observation wheel in the world. 135 metres high. It was designed by a husband and wife team, David Marks and Julia Barfield, and pieces came from 6 different European countries. For example, the glass came from Italy, and the Brits, they contributed. We made the benches that sit inside. Congratulations to the Brits. There are 32 capsules, although you will notice a couple missing. There is no capsule 4. It's just past the orange bit there, you can see a white caged capsule. That's capsule 4. That one fell off. No, we're currently refurbishing the eye. It takes about 6 weeks to refurbish them. We send them up the river and then bring them back 6 weeks later. You also won't find a capsule 13. This is for superstitious reasons. Ooh. You can do many things on the eye. You can have champagne pims, get married. A man recently put a treadmill inside one of those capsules. He ran for 3 hours 51 minutes, created a lot of sweat, and did the first marathon on the eye. There we have it, each their own. Now in front of us we've got 3 bridges, 2 white bridges and a railway bridge in the middle. The white bridges are footbridges, the Golden Jubilee bridges, opened in 2002 to celebrate the Queen's Golden Jubilee, 50 years on the throne. And they're designed to complement the London Eye. You can kind of see that. In the middle is Hungerford Railway Bridge, which leads over to the left into Charing Cross Station. Now above Charing Cross is this glass building designed by Terry Farrell. It's actually offices, One Embankment Place, and he designed it to look like a train coming through a tunnel billowing smoke. Now if you can see that, you've got better imagination than me, because I think it looks like a Teletubby toaster. But each their own. There we go. One Embankment Place. They filmed some of Bridget Jones's diary in there, the office scenes, for any of you that have seen that film. Now over on our right hand side we have an area known as the South Bank Centre. There's loads of things going on at the moment. There's a big festival, and this is because they're currently celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Festival of Britain. Now in 1951 we had a massive party in this country, a massive festival to celebrate the end of the war and also the end of rationing. Hooray. So they built the Royal Festival Hall, which is a large concert hall, but there's loads of things going on. If you see all these little huts there, they've all got little bits of artwork in there, and there's a exhibition, a free exhibition all about the festival in Royal Festival Hall there. But I'm about to throw you a fact that is going to astound you. See that bunting there? That is the longest bunting in the world. That is a fact. 1.3 miles long. Wow. 1.3 miles, the same length as Southend Pier, which if you continued going up this river you would get to. 1.3 miles, it's the longest pier in the world. That's a really arty area over there, so it's definitely worth going, hang around that area. But we're coming to Waterloo Bridge, one of the longest bridges we're going to go under, also known as the Ladies' Bridge, as it was mainly constructed by ladies during World War II when the men were fighting. It's made from Portland stone, which is a self-cleaning stone. You'll notice it's got a dirty bottom. It's very dirty underneath. And that's because when rain hits this type of stone, it creates a chemical reaction which cleans itself, which is why the sides are nice and clean, because we've had lots of rain recently. Now on the right-hand side, this building that looks a bit like a car park is not. It's the Royal National Theatre. And despite its appearance on the outside, inside it's a wonderful building. There are 3 theatres inside there, the largest being the Olivier, which was named after Sir Laurence Olivier, the first artistic director. Over 1,000 seats, all in lavender, because that was his favourite colour. But you can get tickets from as low as £5 in there. They are standing tickets. But they also do free concerts in the main foyer area, so it's somewhere definitely worth checking out, especially if we get any more rain. But if theatre's not your thing, maybe television is. Just to our right, behind these trees, that tower block and the buildings around it, this is ITV London Studios. This is where such educational, iconic programmes are made, such as Loose Women, Jeremy Kyle, anything by Anton Deck. For those on board that haven't heard of those programmes, congratulations. But they also filmed this morning. See this white building with the blacked out windows? That's where they filmed this morning. If you ever see Gino making linguine, we can often be seen going past in the background. Next to this, with the small tiny bit of beach there, that's Gabriel's Wharf. It's an area, that whole area was redeveloped by the local community. So all the shops are kind of one-offs there. It's a really nice area to go actually. I highly recommend going on an evening. Now over on our left-hand side, appearing behind the cranes, is the magnificent St Paul's Cathedral. There we have it. One of the largest domed cathedrals in the world. I think it's number 2. It's 365 feet high, 1 foot for every day of the year. I know the blue cranes, I mean they're lovely blue cranes, they are blocking the view for those taking photos, but we will get another view of it as we come through these bridges. That cathedral was designed by Sir Christopher Wren, who built a lot after the fire. This cathedral actually dates back to 1710, after the previous one burnt down in the Great Fire in 1666. So this dates back to 1710. Although it's believed to be the 5th St Paul's on this site. This area has always been an area of religious activity ever since the Romans were about. In fact, just to our left-hand side, in front of that curved building, there used to be a Dominican friary where the monks all wore black robes, and this gave them the nickname the Black Friars. And if you come, these bridges we're coming to are also known as Blackfriars Bridges. We don't just randomly name things, there are reasons. Blackfriars Bridges, 2.5 bridges we're coming to. Notice as we go through just half a bridge, just some columns. Some grade 2 listed red columns. Grade 2 listed red columns. They did used to have a bridge going over them. There was a bridge going over these columns here, but they took it down. In fact, they carried the first steam train across the river. Unfortunately, with more modern trains, they had to take the bridge down because they just couldn't cope. But they left the columns there, so it's rather nice. There we have another view of St Paul's on our left-hand side. You can go near enough to the top if you do want to go round every day apart from Sunday, because there's services in there. Some famous events have taken place there. In fact, another big wedding in 1981. That's where Lady Diana Spencer and Prince Charles got married. They did consider it for William and Kate, but they chose Westminster Abbey instead. Just in front of this, the red brick building there, for any Harry Potter fans on board, that's where Daniel Radcliffe studied at the new City of London School for Boys. Supposedly one of the cheapest boarding schools in London. But what magnificent views from your classroom, that's what I say. Now, when Christopher Wren was building St Paul's, he couldn't live on the left-hand side because most of it had been destroyed in the Great Fire. So he had to live on the right-hand side. And if you look underneath the bridge, you can see a cream-coloured... He lived on the right, in the cream-coloured building on our right with the red door. But next to this, you can see a white building with a thatched roof over to our right. Now this is a replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. Now it was completed in 1997. The original Globe Theatre burnt down during a production of Henry VIII. They used a real cannon and set fire to it, rather foolishly. In fact, that's one of the only thatched roofs you're going to see today, because thatched roofs were outlawed in London after the Great Fire for obvious reasons. They had to get special permission to build this. But they built it in the same way as the original, using the same plans, the same methods. The only modern thing about that building is the sprinkler system. But it is an open-air theatre. That roof doesn't go all the way over. And if it rains, you get wet. And you're not allowed to take umbrellas. I was there recently, I saw Dr. Faustus, and luckily it was a nice evening. But you are not allowed to take umbrellas, but you are allowed to take rotten tomatoes. If you don't like what you see, or the baddies come on, they urge you to throw things at them, shout and boo. It's a real atmosphere in there, and it costs just £5 to stand in the centre, and you're called a groundling. Lovely. This bridge we're coming to, this is a lovely bridge. This is Southwark Bridge, also known as the Lonely Bridge. It's said if you're walking across here, you're probably lost. That's because no main roads lead to it. It's really hard to find this bridge, but it's a rather lovely bridge, if you ask me. Unlike the bridge in front of us, this monster of a bridge, Cannon Street Railway Bridge, designed by British Rail. There we have it. Now just over to the right, we've got the pub known as the Anchor. In fact, this was where Shakespeare's men used as a dressing room, because they didn't have any dressing rooms on the globe, so they used this building here. Lots of famous people have drunk in here, Samuel Pepys, Tom Cruise. The whole area to our right is known as Southwark, and it used to be the place of debauchery, because it was all outlawed on the left, so all the activities like bear baiting, cockfighting, whorehouses, pubs, theatres, they all took place on our right-hand side because they were outlawed on the left-hand side. So if you want any of that, you go to Southwark. You had to cross the bridge. There weren't many bridges going across, so you had to get a little boat and go across if you wanted to take part in that type of thing. Now we've got another replica poking out between these two buildings on the right. The black boat with the red and yellow piping going around it. This is a replica of the Golden Hind. Now the original Golden Hind took Sir Francis Drake all the way around the world to become the first Englishman to circumnavigate the globe. It took him 3 years, 1577, and he came back with £25 million worth of stolen treasure, which he'd nicked from the Spanish and the Portuguese. And so what did we do? We knighted him, because it wrote off our national debt. How we need another Sir Francis Drake. You can go on that replica there, you can have pirate parties and things. That one's actually been around the globe twice, so one more time than the original. As we make our way to London Bridge, and if you don't believe me, look to the left and you'll see written on it, London Bridge. This simple bridge is London Bridge. Not the one in front, this one. Now this bridge only dates back to 1970s. But there's been many a bridge on this site. In fact, there's been a bridge since about 50 AD, when the Romans built a wooden bridge across, roughly in the same spot. But this one dates back to 1970. The previous one was sold to an American for £1 million, and he shipped it piece by piece over to Lake Havasu in Arizona. And it's the second most visited attraction there. it's still there today if you want to go and see it. Of course, the famous London Bridge was the medieval one, but we'll talk about that on our way back. If you look over to our left, we've got this sandy-coloured building, and if any of you have got good eyes, you can see the weather vanes, and they've got fish.
这是伦敦铁桥，但是这是 London Tower Bridge， 就是伦敦塔桥。London Bridge 是一个过路桥，但是这超美，前面还有一艘大船，真是太棒了。
Oh, my battery went. That sandy-coloured building we've just passed, that's old Billingsgate Fish Market. That's old Billingsgate Fish Market. They used to sell tons and tons of fish there every day. It's now offices, rather smelly, fishy offices. In fact, Maurice Micklewhite had his first job there, better known as Sir Michael Caine. As we come alongside HMS Belfast, an 11,500 ton war cruiser dressed in its North Atlantic colours. Those guns at the front can fire 12 miles. They are currently pointed at a service station on the M1 motorway. But there we have it. It's that was used in D-Day, the Korean War. Many things. It's now owned by the Imperial War Museum. You can go on board and have a day out. It was originally built in the same port as the Titanic. We're now in an area of old and new. Obviously to our left we've got the Tower of London. If you are standing up, can I ask that you sit down so that our captain can see out? We don't want to crash into anything today. We've got the Tower of London on our left, Tower Bridge in front of us, and this bulbous glass building on our right hand side. This is where the Mayor of London goes to work. This is the headquarters for the London